Hey, welcome back! Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you guys have been watching, I just uploaded 2 videos really quick about some ears I'm doing. This is the 3rd video that I promised you guys I was going to do. This was going to be the long one because I have some well, not really how to, but like the build and all that stuff involved in it. I want to get through this part as quickly as possible. I don't want this to drag on. So I want to jump into the Mickey ears that I made for our Disney cruise to the Mexican Riviera on the Disney Wonder. This was during the Halloween expedition, so it was their Halloween cruise. I'm going to apologize right now for the background noise. If you can hear it, it's my 3D printer. It's building a set of shelves that I'm going to show off later. But I want to jump into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with my wife's set of ears. I'm going to talk about them really quick because I want to get into my ears, the ones that were a little bit more labor intensive. But I want to talk about these because these are actually really fun to make. My wife had a good time making them. So it's just a basic headband like the other sets that I've made. But as you can see, it's a little bit more nautical themed. The material is denim. It's denim with little anchors printed on it. So it's double-sided, front and back, denim. We have a little anchor that's been glued on. It's just an embroidered anchor patch that we got at a fabric store. The navy and white ribbon, and then a little tiny nautical red ribbon. As you can see, the anchors in there too. And then everything's trimmed in this gold rope on both sides to give it kind of a, you know, a nautical feel, a little boatsy, a little cruisy, you know, sticking with that theme. So these are my wife's ears. She had a really good time making these with me. You know, she loved my ideas. I did help her put it together. I walked her through the process. But this is, you know, her set of ears. She really loved making them. She loved wearing them. She wore them most of the expedition, on board and off board. And these are the ones that she had that she didn't pack. So on and off, most of the time she wore these. She had other ear sets, and you can find those ear sets in other videos that I've already uploaded. But these are hers, and she was super happy about them. Now I want to talk about my ears. I'm going to just duck down here real quick because I want to show you guys something. Hold on. So this hard piece of plastic. This is a Mickey ear. This Mickey ear is cast out of a featherlight material by Smooth-On, and it was cast off an original mold of a Mickey ear from the 50th anniversary set of Mickey Mouse ears from the Disneyland park. So what I did is I bought a 50th anniversary set from the Disneyland park, and I butchered them. I chopped them into bits, and I took the ears. They might be floating around here somewhere still, I don't know, but this was made from that ear set. It's just a blank. I know it's nothing spectacular. I put some screws in it so I could pull it in and out of the mold, and so I could have something to mount it to or whatnot. This is actually where the rivets went on the original ear set. So nothing spectacular, but it's led to really cool things, and I'll show you. Let me show you one thing first. So this piece of silicone here is the mold for that ear, and this is the mold I made for that ear to basically create more blanks. And I actually have one in here so you can see it. So this is a blank, and this is the ear mold set. So what I did is, this is made with Featherlight. This is not the blank I used. I'm going to show you the blank I used so you can get a better understanding. What I did is I took this mold, I mixed some plaster of Paris, you might see it in the video, that I'm going to put along with this as well so you'll be able to see a compilation side by side. And I mixed it with plaster of Paris. I degassed the plaster of Paris, which was dumb because plaster of Paris is very porous and it absorbs water and all that stuff. So It was dumb on my part, but I did it anyways, and I put it in this mold. So I had a plaster of Paris casting of this mold that I used to make two Mickey Mouse ears, two nautical themed Mickey Mouse ears for my Disney cruise. And I'm going to grab those down here real quick, one sec. Here. Okay, so I'm jumping a couple steps ahead. This is the molds, silicone molds that I made with those plaster of Paris castings, and they're actually, these are the original plaster of Paris castings. They're inside these molds. Okay, so each one was done, done, sculpted, sealed, then created into a mold. So I'm gonna pull one of them out. I don't know which one this is because I didn't label them, but they're obvious when they're out. Okay. So this mold here, I'm gonna show you the mold. Was made into a ship wheel, or this ear was made into a ship wheel. So I started with a plaster of Paris blank, all plaster of Paris with a concave face. And what I did is I wasn't about to go out and try to sculpt a ship wheel like perfect. So what I did is I got a little creative. I went on Amazon.com. I found a super cheap ship wheel that just so happened to be a fidget spinner, and I embedded it in the ear. So you can see it there. And then what I did is I poured a little bit of plaster of Paris around the outside. I went in there with a sculpting tool and I started carving out the edges. So kind of like a ship wheel had just kind of embedded itself into the ear. And that's what I got out of that. So that's the first one. I'm going to put it back in the mold. That's the first one. And then I want to show you the second one. And this one was actually the one that took the longest and had the most technical detail. Same thing, it was just a blank. Let's put it out of the mold here. Same concave texture. Now what I did for this one is I laser cut a life preserver. So two life preservers were laser cut, glued together, sandwiched together, give it a little bit of depth. And then I took blue painter's tape, I'm going to show you in a second, and I laser cut the actual insignia that is on the Disney Wonder life preservers. So, and then what I did is I traced it all out. I gave it some depth with the lines and everything. You'll see it a little bit better. And then I sculpted inside of it to give it more of a embedded three-dimensional look. So, as you can see, that's the product at the end of it. Now you can't see all the details, they're not filled in, they're not colored in, but this one was also very challenging in I try to get everything detailed in. I try to get all the lettering correct. Even though it's done in the Disney font, which is not done on the Disney Wonder, I did it in the Disney font. And then I also put the bands that are on it, as well as the red registration marks, and you'll see why in the final result. But this one was actually probably the hardest to do, just because I wanted it to be perfect and all the sanding and kind of finagling together. So after that, sorry, I'm just going to put it back into the mold real quick. After that, what I did is I created the mold, and I cast a set in Featherlight. So I'm going to show you the Featherlight. So these are the Featherlight set that I cast. And you can see I started already doing the paint test samples on this one. But these are the two that I did in Featherlight. Now the original idea was to make these with magnets, so that they would just kind of clip into the hat I had. The only problem is the orientation of the magnets and the metal that I was using prevented them from getting a good bond. So every time I would clip them in, the two magnets underneath would snap together, or they would push apart, or basically what would happen is I wouldn't have enough strength in the ears, and they would just kind of flop around, and I didn't like that. So rather than try to make this work, I scrapped these and I cast another set. And those are the set that you're gonna see on my ears. On my ears that I wore on the Disney Wonder. And it was actually done on a captain's hat. Actually, very similar to the one you see behind me, right there. So it's that one I bought for the ears. It ended up being a little too flimsy, a little cheap. I didn't like it, didn't use it, bought another one, and I'm going to show you real quick. So this is the captain's hat that I decided to use. I'm going to show it real quick, but I had to strengthen most of it because it was a little floppy, a little wobbly, so I added some plastic inside of it, just around it and on the top, just to give it some strength, so you guys can see it. Yeah, there it is. So that's the captain's hat. This is the ear set that I wore on my Disney cruise. And they were super popular. People loved them, cast members loved them, and I got a lot of compliments on them. I did have to, as you can see, I did have to put some plastic inside. The ears are held on with screws. I decided to screw them on, and they have a piece of metal, a little L bracket that connects the top and the side. The back and everything, all the blue you see on it was airbrushed. Any other color was either taped off or hand painted, and I want to show you the colors. You'll see better pictures at the end of the video as well, but I want to show you all the detail that went into them. So you can see the ship wheel there. A faux wood coloring with gold gilding to kind of accentuate the little lines and features of it. And then here is the lifesaver or life preserver. So as you can see, the lettering was done, painted in black, the red registration marks, and then if you can't tell, the little cloth here is real cloth. It's actually canvas, and then there's a rope. That's real rope that goes around it, just like the real lifesavers, life preservers, and it gives it a very real 3D effect. Like it makes me believe that they could have been, you know, the real thing shrunk down, and they ended up turning out really great. Once everything was airbrushed and painted and done and all set up, I sealed it with some gloss clear coat. The only problem is this material really absorbs anything you put on it, so it protected it, but it did not make it shiny, and I'm kind of glad it didn't, because it would have taken away from the real look and aesthetic of it. So these are the ears that I made. I hope you guys like them. I have more pictures. I have pictures at the end of this video you guys get to watch or take a look at, so you can see up close and personal exactly the details and what goes in them. I really hope you guys like them. It took me a long time. This was definitely something that did not happen overnight. It was a process. Took about just when I started planning it to completion, just under 60 days or so. And 90% of the work was in these ears here, casting them, sculpting them, letting everything dry, going through the process, test fitting, all that good stuff. So it was very labor intensive. The cost for any set of ears that I make is astronomical compared to the cost at the park, but to have something unique, to have something one of a kind, it's definitely something that I feel is worth it. Again, I'm planning on doing more videos of more Disney ears, but I don't want to get you guys bored. I do have 3D printing stuff, as you can hear in the background, some other stuff. Please go back, if you haven't already, see the other 2 ear sets that I made for the Disney cruise. One was for the Nightmare Before Christmas sing-along, which was super fun, and the other one was for Pirate Night, and you'll like those too. So go ahead and check them out. I'll put a link in the description for those 2 videos so you can go check them out. But please like, subscribe, you know, comment, share, do what you have to do. You know, I love to see you, you know, my videos out there and getting appreciated. So until next time when I post something, you know, have a good one, guys, and peace out.